Hi Aquarius, welcome to this relationships reading. My name is Linda. We're going to take a look today at your connection with someone and try to find a little bit more information and give you insight and clarity about the nature of your relationship with them and what may be going on behind the scenes or below the surface that you might not have been able to perceive yet. So this reading is for any Aquarius sun, moon or rising person, or you could be watching this reading if the person that you're dealing with is Aquarius, and you might find some helpful messages here for you. Let's give it one more shuffle and we'll get started. So this first card is how you see yourself. Three of Swords reversed. How you see them. Knight of Coins reversed. This is how they see themselves. The Hermit reversed. How they see you. Seven of Wands. This card is the energy between you that is supportive. This is the energy between you that's challenging. You have the Fool and Six of Cups reversed. The crowning card is the Empress. And the potential outcome, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. All right. So what I'm feeling here in this energy is that first of all, I would say what I'm feeling with this particular reading right now is that this is a very fleeting energy. I don't feel like for majority of people watching this that this is a long-term connection that you've known for a while. I feel like this is someone who you've either just met recently or you've been like spending time with recently, but it's for a short time. It's not a long-term connection. That's not for everyone. I feel like this is a very sexual energy, but that there isn't necessarily a lot of potential for something longer, because people in this reading are not necessarily in a good space in themselves to actually endure or nurture something of this nature. And I feel like the people in this reading as well are not necessarily really actually totally aligned with each other. It's more just like a sexual chemistry between people that has kind of brought them together. But I don't feel like they have energy between them that is much deeper than that, let's say. You might want to believe that there is. You might want to feel like this is someone that you could kind of spend more time with over a longer period, but it doesn't look like that to me. It doesn't feel like that. But I have to say, this could be a warning just for one person, but be careful you don't get pregnant. There's definitely pregnancy energy here with the Fool and the Empress in the middle of the reading. But with this Six of Cups in reverse is the crossing energy, and with this Three of Swords here, Hermit reverse here, Nine of Coins here, I really don't feel like this energy has necessarily the potential to go somewhere longer as far as these two people go. But there is a potential here for pregnancy. So if you don't want to be pregnant, be really careful. Be really careful. There's a lot of sexual energy. There's a lot of fertility here. So be really careful. Now, to get into the cards one by one, Three of Swords in reverse, this is how you see yourself. I think you might be struggling a little bit at the moment with some emotional tension in yourself. Some of you might be dealing with losses of some kind. Or, I don't know, I feel like this Three of Swords in this particular energy for this reading, it doesn't necessarily feel like a broken heart as far as a breakup or something. It's more like I kind of just feel like this heaviness of like what's going on in the world at the moment and how that feels like it's affecting you, but more as like I kind of feel like the heaviness of this energy as you as an empath. Right? Like it might not necessarily be that you particularly have anything specific that you're struggling with or that you're going through or that you're trying to heal and nurture, but it's more like this kind of heavy energy of like what other people are feeling or what the consciousness of the earth is feeling or what humanity is going through. I feel like that is kind of something that's weighing on you, and that feels really strongly like what this card is about for you at this time in this particular reading. Of course, we're always healing, and there's always like things to look at in our consciousness, in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds, that is connected to our personal journey of reclamation of self. That's eternal, even beyond this life and this body. But I don't know. I feel like right now this energy of the Three of Swords feels a little bit more like a collective pain that you are somehow tapping into. And I could go on a tangent on that for a while actually, but this is a relationships reading, so I'm going to keep it on point. But I would say for you there, just as a tangent side note, be really careful that you're not, of course it's wonderful to be empathic and it's really special, it's such a gift, but just be careful that you're not investing too much time in things that are actually not really relevant. And what I mean by that, it's not that people aren't suffering, and it's not that there isn't things to actually be feeling. This is definitely a valid energy to feel, but be careful that you don't get lost too long in it with a sense of hopelessness that you can't fix anything, right? Because our work as entities here, as consciousness, human consciousness, who've chosen to incarnate here at this time, is to do our own personal healing, and that personal healing is what will feed into and nurture the collective healing. So don't get too distracted or thrown off by a bigger story that you as an individual feel a little bit helpless to evoke any kind of change upon. Rather, just make sure it's good to be aware about everything for sure, but make sure you put energy into your own personal wellness and health and growth and recovery, and make sure you're putting your thoughts and your feelings in the right place so that you don't get too pulled out of your own personal journey by something that you actually can't really do anything with. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's get back to the reading. Now, how you see this other person is the Knight of Coins. Now, I'm feeling this energy. This is an interesting reading. I haven't really experienced energy using this spread quite like this before. What I'm picking up here on this card is that this energy is actually subconscious. You're not necessarily consciously aware of this, but the Knight of Coins in reverse, because like I said, I feel like there's this very fiery sexual energy in this reading, and it's very fertile, and it's very sensual. There's a very sensual energy in this reading. But you might not be aware, actually, because I feel like this is in a subconscious way for you, that the person you're dealing with is not ready for commitment. They're not available. They're not emotionally available. They might actually even be letting you know that they're kind of like, because there's not the Hermit in reverse and the Seven of Wands on this side of the reading. It's like they're actually in their own space. And you might actually be kind of ignoring the fact that they're giving you really clear symbols that they're not available, and you might be still trying to pursue them, even though they've probably made it very clear. And probably even though they've made it very clear that they're not available, they're still going to fuck around with you because everybody likes sex, right? But you might be misreading the energy, thinking that this is something to go further into and go deeper with, when this person maybe has made it clear, they have made it clear that they're energetically, physically, emotionally not available to you, but they're down to have a hookup. And you might not be seeing the fact that they're actually not really giving you the energy you want, and that could be feeding into actually this other energy of whatever sadness and grief and insecurities or whatever that you might be feeling right now. A casual sexual interaction will maybe only enhance those feelings and make you feel actually worse. So be careful about that, Aquarius. Be careful with your sexual energy. Don't dabble. Make sure that if you're putting your sexual energy out there, that it's being revered and respected and honored in the way that you deserve to be, and you're not just like fooling around with somebody for fun when they've made it clear that they're not actually emotionally invested in you at all. Because that's what this Knight of Coins is saying very clearly. Again, I've kind of covered the Hermit in reverse. I feel like this person is actually not really available. They're in their own space, but they're not. It's funny because they are. What I'm getting from this person, from this person, is that. Just let me collect the right words. They are actually in a spiritual crisis. They're having an awakening, but they're not aware of it. They're just a little disoriented, and they don't really understand what's happening to them. And they're not in a really good space, although they are actually evolving and quite suddenly. But because they're not paying attention to what's really going on with them, they might not really be, how do I say that, like actually keeping on pace with the evolution that's happening for them as it's happening. It's like it's happening without their participation, and they need to be participating more in it to be able to evolve at the rate that their their spiritual awakening is actually allowing, if that makes sense. But they're not actually really involved that much in it. It's just kind of happening to them. And so that's why their energy might be a little bit off here. The way they're seeing you is the Seven of Wands. Actually, I feel like this card is theirs as well. It's funny. It's a really weird feeling I'm getting in this reading. I feel like this person is, again, like saying to you pretty clearly that they are not really available. Because Seven of Wands can be about boundaries and a little bit defensive. But the way I'm feeling it in this energy, it's more like they're actually energetically, physically, emotionally, as I've said over and over again, not available. But you're not really paying attention to that for some reason. You're not actually listening to that. I think you're hearing what you want to hear. And if you're not careful, that will end up in tears. Now, this outcome card, Nine of Pentacles reversed, along with the Empress here, I feel that, again, there is a very fertile energy in this reading. But with the Nine of Coins in reverse, I feel like there is, again, because you have this is a 9 as well, and you have 2 3s here. There's a message here about people needing to be more independent, right? I'm just picking up on this for the first time. I've been using this deck for a while now, maybe a year or so. I really love it. But there's, for me, in the tarot, the Nine of Pentacles and the Empress is very similar energy. And I'm just noticing here, like the green is quite similar as well to this Empress card. Anyway, I digress. The point is, these people need to be careful that they don't create an unhealthy codependency, right? And I think that would be, I'm kind of a bit loath to say this, but I feel like it's more actually about you need to be responsible about being aware about this, because this person maybe doesn't have the capacity to be aware about that. I feel like your energy is a little bit pushing too much for something to happen with this person. They've made it clear that they're actually not available, whether energetically or verbally, probably more energetically. You're not picking up on that because you want what you want, and there is this strong sexual chemistry, but it's actually not a match. I'm sorry, it's not a match. You need to be really careful that there is not an unwanted pregnancy here. And okay, so here's the thing, right? Sometimes when there's really strong sexual chemistry, it's not because this person is your soulmate. It's because there's some kind of karmic thing that might need to be cleaned up. And that doesn't mean that it's a karmic relationship doesn't mean a long-term partnership. It doesn't mean marriage. It doesn't mean commitment. It means that there may be something that there is still for you to recognize about yourself through the mirror of this person. And once you see what that is, you can walk away, and it doesn't need to be something that you continue to keep a door open and carry on, because the energy is not actually resonant match. The only reason why there is some kind of magnetic connection that's bringing you towards this person is because there is that some kind of residual energy that hasn't been closed out, that hasn't been filed away. And so there is this kind of attraction point between the two individuals because there's information that they have for you and that you have for them. But don't get attached to that being the point of the connection, because you also can just recognize, like, this person is not healthy for me. And maybe that's the point of the karmic connection, is that this person's energy is not healthy for me. I need to pay attention to my own wellness and my own self-love and compassion, and not try to put energy into something that doesn't actually want to receive what I have to give. That's just one example. I'm not saying that's the point of this actual energy, but I'm talking about karmic connections and strong sexual magnetic energy that I'm seeing in this particular reading. But I'm speaking about it in a general way there, okay? So I feel like I've covered all of the insights that I have in this reading. I'm going to just spend a moment quietly to see if there's anything further. I mean, again, like in a normal reading, if I would see the Fool and the Empress come out, I would be like, wow, these are great cards. This is beautiful energy. But in this reading, I'm not feeling that. I feel like this energy is kind of a warning of, like, the energy that's surrounding the surrounding cards of this central column of the reading is all red flags. But then you have this middle column, which is beautiful major arcana energy. But it's talking about like the dangers of not being really Jedi about this, the vibe here. You've got to be really aware of what's going on. Now is not the time to be sidetracked. Now is not the time to like let your guard down and let energies into your environment, into your energy, into your aura, into your body that are not actually going to support your healing journey. Be careful, Aquarius. And this Six of Cups in reverse, again, it's bringing me back to this idea of some kind of karmic connection, could be a past life connection, but that doesn't mean you have to go into something with them. It just means there's something energetically for you to recognize something about yourself that you need to reclaim or be aware about or understand. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Aquarius. It has been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I really hope you found that helpful. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.